Hey there, Saber friends and fans. SpaceWindu here. I've got a very interesting article and a little theory that I just want to talk about real quick. My friend JJ sent me this article from Screen Rant, and it's about the Mandalorian and about the Darksaber. It says, theory: Mandalorian's first lightsaber duel is Ahsoka versus Moff Gideon for the Darksaber. The Mandalorian Season 2 is set to feature the show's first lightsaber duel. Will it be Ahsoka Tano versus Moff Gideon for possession of the Darksaber? Ahsoka Tano could go head-to-head with Moff Gideon in live action when The Mandalorian returns for its second season, premiering in late 2019, just before the new year came along and ruined everything. The Mandalorian was a beacon of hope, the likes of which Star Wars fans had never seen before. The Disney Plus series takes the franchise almost back to basics. The Jedi are a myth, Empire are few in number, and the story revolves around a single, mostly anonymous bounty hunter. There were no lightsaber duels, no frenzied space battles. Well, there was a space battle, a little space battle between the Mandalorian ship and an attacking ship, and not a wide-scale space battle. No Sith Lords, all tropes Star Wars fans have come to expect. The Mandalorian might be a very different take on the galaxy far, far away, but there are still a host of connections to the wider world of Star Wars, from retro sound effects to returning alien species. Unquestionably, one of the biggest connections in Season 1 was the Darksaber. Featuring primarily in Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, the Darksaber is an ancient Mandalorian relic built by Mandalore's first Jedi. Possession of the weapon denotes a position of leadership among the Mandalorian people, and Darksaber has previously been held by the likes of Darth Maul and Sabine Wren. It was last seen with Bo-Katan Kryze before turning up in The Mandalorian in the grubby hands of Moff Gideon. So what I think is the whole reason for the Mandalorian in Season 1 to be after the Beskar armor is basically because what I think is going to happen in Season 2, after seeing this article here, is that, we all knew that, or the rumor is, I don't know if it's a rumor, if it's actually totally confirmed, about Ahsoka being cast, Rosario Dawson, and she's going to be in Mandalorian Season 2. If all that's true, then this is totally possible that Ahsoka could be the only one around to face off against Moff Gideon if he does, if he is good at using the Darksaber. I mean, we don't know, is it like Luke when he was around the time of A New Hope, when he's just kind of carrying around a lightsaber but he didn't really know how to use it? Or can Moff Gideon really use the Darksaber? Because Ahsoka would be a pretty tough cookie, considering she's faced off against Darth Vader and survived, and I'm not sure that Moff Gideon would stand a chance against Ahsoka, but there is one other clue. So there's this other article from The Direct back on July 29th. So a few days ago, it talks about interview with Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon. He says, "You'll see more of the Darksaber. You'll get the explanation of his ancient weapon to the modern world, a collapsed world. Where did the saber come from? And how is it revived? It's a key in our second season, which will be back sooner than later. The saber is a key to Moff Gideon's past, which possibly has a lot to do with where he comes from and his desire to build a planet and bring it back together." I did a live stream last night. We're talking about Star Wars, talking about lightsabers. I was going over a lightsaber book, and in the book, it has a passage about Beskar, and it says Beskar is actually one of the elements, one of the metals that can withstand a lightsaber blow. So putting all this stuff together, Moff Gideon with the Darksaber, Ahsoka Tano maybe coming back, what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen is Moff Gideon is going to come in contact with the Mandalorian, and they're going to get into a scuffle. Moff Gideon is going to attack the Mandalorian with his Darksaber, but considering that most of the Mandalorian's pieces of armor have been converted to Beskar in the first season, over the course of the first season, this is going to give the Mandalorian a chance to actually survive this attack by a potential Force user. Moff Gideon is a potential Force user, and actually get away or somehow make it to the point where Ahsoka Tano is going to jump in and then maybe take care of business. But there's one other little clue here that says that Moff Gideon might be even more powerful than just a regular Force user, because he is potentially going after Baby Yoda because he wants that added something. So Esposito's hint about Moff Gideon being extra special certainly seems to lend itself to the idea that the character could be a Force user. Again, this is from the article from the Direct on July 29th. The Direct has even predicted that Gideon's intentions with the child are to harvest its power for himself, which would make him potentially stronger than previous Sith Lords. So if the science could get to the point where they are taking whatever specialness Baby Yoda has and transferring it to Moff Gideon for like that extra turbo boost of Force power, he could be a problem. You know, I just don't think like I don't think, I don't know. This guy's pretty unknown. So I was going to say I don't think, you know, anyone really stands a chance against Ahsoka. As far as lightsaber, I mean, she was trained by Anakin Skywalker. She is obviously excellent with a lightsaber, and she's got 2 of them. And we've seen a lot of evidence to show that Ahsoka can handle herself, especially against other Force users, against other people with lightsabers. So it's going to be it's going to be a very hairy situation for Moff Gideon if he tangles with Ahsoka without any type of edge. So I think there's going to have to be some kind of edge. The edge that the Mandalorian has against this is, I think, that acquisition of the Beskar armor, which is probably going to allow him to survive an attack by this Darksaber, but maybe the armor is going to get damaged. You know, I don't know if the armor can withstand that or if the armor is fine after that. I hope it's fine. The armor is so sick. This armor is so rad on the Mandalorian. But back to the article with Ahsoka. As confirmed by Gideon himself, The Mandalorian Season 2 will feature an epic lightsaber battle. Since this information is coming from Esposito, it's safe to assume that Gideon himself is involved in said duel, and the fact that his character is the only person to hold a lightsaber in the show so far supports this. Gideon's opponent, however, is trickier to figure out. It's very difficult to imagine Mando himself wielding a regular lightsaber against Gideon's Darksaber, and the same goes for Bo-Katan Kryze, who is confirmed to appear in Season 2. Not many other Jedi are knocking around at this point. In the meantime, in the timeline, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia are both training, but Mark Hamill said farewell to Star Wars with The Rise of Skywalker. Rendering Carrie Fisher, the CGI for a lightsaber battle simply isn't going to happen. This means the most likely opponent of Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian Season 2 is surely Ahsoka Tano. A main character in Star Wars The Clone Wars, Ahsoka was a Padawan of Anakin Skywalker before she turned away from the Jedi Order altogether. Despite going into hiding, Ahsoka never stopped fighting a good fight, and she was last seen looking for fellow animated protagonist Ezra Bridger. Significant chunks of Ahsoka's story remain unknown, but the character is confirmed to appear in The Mandalorian Season 2. Okay, so that gives me kind of another clue that I don't know how long Ezra Bridger is supposed to be gone for, but he's another potential opponent wielding a lightsaber for Moff Gideon. And while she might have walked out of Yoda's Force-sensitive fan club, Ahsoka remains a skilled fighter, particularly when it comes to lightsaber lightsaber combat. That's what I said before. If anyone's going to clash blade to blade with Darksaber waving Moff Gideon, it'll be Ahsoka. An Ahsoka versus Gideon duel also makes sense thematically. During the Clone Wars, Ahsoka battled the previous Darksaber owner, Pre Vizsla. The Padawan won the battle, by taking out Vizsla's jetpack, and this victory gives Ahsoka an inherent connection to the ancient Mandalorian weapon. Well, I don't know about that, maybe. Not only is she familiar in how an opponent wields the Darksaber, but the weapon is usually passed on through single combat. Since Ahsoka beat Vizsla, she might have a more legitimate claim to the weapon than Gideon. Although I don't think Gideon cares about whatever rules Mandalorians go by. Although how he obtained it is yet to be confirmed. Ahsoka understands the significance of the Darksaber, and this means she won't fight Gideon just to take his blade for herself. She'll fight him on behalf of others and return the relic to its rightful owner. Maybe Sabine will show herself, or with a lack of better options, that rightful owner might even end up being Din Djarin himself. Okay, I think that's the end of the article there. So that's basically that on the Darksaber. I kind of think that the whole point of Season 1, getting the Beskar, was probably to deflect a few life-threatening blows from this Darksaber, considering that's what we did see at the end of Mandalorian Season 1. But I guess we'll have to wait until we get more info here, or see some production stills, or see some leaked footage to actually know, or actually see the show itself. I hope you liked this video. If you did, force press that like button. Come back for more. I've got some lightsaber videos coming out this weekend. One of them is a Graflex from my friend Chris. I think you will like that. It's got the Crystal Focus 10. It's got all the best electronics. Of course, the enhanced blue NeoPixel blade, which is really, really stunning to look at. I will talk to you guys really, really soon. Saber the moment, and have a great day.
SpaceWindu!
Do you like what I do here on SpaceWindu channel? You might like my second channel. It's called Comic Book Creation Live, and that's where I work on my latest comic book, Albatross Junction, with my friend Kevin. We do a live show every single Wednesday. You might want to drop by and check it out. It's a really cool story that is sort of like Star Wars in some ways. There's some space travel, so a lot of action, alien creatures, monsters, and future Earth, maybe over 1,000 years into the future. So go check out Comic Book Creation Live.
Lightsabers.